Survivors of the 1984 poisonous gas leak took to the streets today demanding harsher punishments for those responsible and more compensation for the victims of the tragedy. Some 4,000 people were killed and 500,000 injured. 30 years on, many still bear the scars. Delano de Souza reports.
The effects of the world's largest industrial disaster continue to linger in Bhopal. Thousands of children are born with brain damage, missing palates or twisted limbs because of their parents' exposure to toxic gas. On the morning of December 3, 1984, a pesticide plant run by Union Carbide accidentally leaked 40 tons of metal isocyanate into the air. It immediately killed over 4,000 and activists estimate 25,000 more have died from illnesses since.
Those 2.5 to 3 hours seemed longer than 40 years. It was so frightening. One would have preferred to die rather than smell and inhale that gas.
There was such a strong burning sensation in the eyes that the smoke felt as if somebody had put red chilies into our eyes. We could barely breathe, our hands and feet were burning. Everything was burning.
In 1989, 5 years after the tragedy, Union Carbide reached a $470 million settlement with the Indian government. Analysts call that a meager sum as it hugely underestimated the cost of human suffering, as well as cleanup efforts needed after the disaster.
30 years on, you have some of the poorest communities in Bhopal having to live with ill health, without cleaning up of the toxic waste, without having got adequate and fair compensation. So, this is a travesty, it's not just a tragedy.
Protesters took to the streets in Bhopal on Wednesday. They're demanding harsher punishments from those responsible and more compensation for the victims. But that may be harder to come by. Union Carbide was bought by Dow Chemical in 2001, and it shrugged any responsibility, saying it acquired the company after the case had been settled. Warren Anderson, the head of Union Carbide at the time of the disaster, was never extradited to India. And while he died in September, no one from the company has so far been brought to book.